Sankhya Shadang Soti Chumlanga Sanjam Paratun Dagni Kyab Suchi Dagi Jin Sogi Pe Sonangi Dolai Pencher Sangen Drupasho.
The excellent Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I go for refuge until the attainment of enlightenment through the merit of my generosity and so forth. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of benefiting beings.
I think we were discussing about the meditation that is based on the analyzing. Also, I was using the word observing as well. Today I will talk a little bit about maybe two things. The first is I think you can say like effect or side effect, when you do that. And maybe the second one, how we respond emotionally to the conditions, let's say, especially the adverse circumstances. So kind of like trying to observe our process of emotional responses towards the likes and dislikes. So these are also, I believe, important technique or path of analytical meditation. Okay. So first of all, to see the effect or side effect, of course we have to meditate a certain time, right? Otherwise you won't see the effect and also side effect. So you have to really eat medicine and see what happens in your body, how does that work. So we have to do that, otherwise it's not going to work. I think, and also I have heard many people, when you practice meditation, especially analytical meditation, vipassana, the first, I think, reaction people might say is that if they are honest, I'm confused. So some people get more interested and some people stop doing that because we get confused, we get scared. And I think somehow biasly we don't like to do the analytical meditation because you're asking question. And who likes to ask question? Especially nobody likes asking question to me. If you listen what I say, everything goes well. The moment you start asking question, what is happening, right? So actually the process of the analytical meditation is asking question to yourself. That's why we have a very automatic defensive self-question shield, so to speak. Anybody questions you, try not to go there or not to reply that or try to take down the question. It's very our human nature, and that's why there's some sort of uncomfort zone there. For example, if you do shamatha, maybe it's much easier because nothing is asking question. You're just being there in a way. But analytical meditation, asking question. Especially if you think that this question is coming from somebody else, it gets worse. If I say, Buddha said like that, oh no, who's Buddha? Why should I listen to him? But if you think this question is coming from me, it's my idea, you will have the more, something that you wanted to push away, resisting. So it's very important not to confuse that Buddha is asking or I am asking, right? Of course we learn from Buddha or learn from text or teacher, but it's basically you're asking question to yourself. That's quite simple. So that at least you have some sort of space to talk, Otherwise immediately, oh, Buddha said, oh, you don't even want it to talk. It makes it very hard. Okay. So you have to have a little bit of that calmness or acceptance to talk. If you just immediately cut down from the beginning, then it's very difficult to observe because you're blocked or you turn away. So what is effective and what is the side effect? So I'm using effect and side effect as in that one is more like I would say one is more that you're doing it, but something is not really happening how it's supposed to happen, right? But something's happening there. And one is that it's happening how it's supposed to happen, but still you are not sure. So I'm using the word side effect as a little bit negative and effect as a little bit positive way. Does it make sense? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So let's say you take medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed not to have too much headache,
Mm-hmm.
and it's supposed to help to as a remedy to your disease. But instead of having that, you're having too much headache.
Yeah.
But not going to the.
No, not much remedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use the word. I think. Okay. First of all, don't hate confusion. Even though somehow we believe that the confusion is bad, it's like a course we'll say, oh, confusion, you're confused, or not necessarily actually. Not necessarily. So when you do the analytical meditation, you will get confused. That is expected. But the point is that, okay, do you have a effective confusion, or do you have a side effect confusion? That's the difference. What I'm trying to say is that usually we don't like confusion because of rigidness. This is our very automatic response. You don't want to be unrigid. But in a way, whole process of even the practicing Buddhist, especially meditation, is to make you confused, but in a very good way. So you can call it healthy confused and unhealthy confused. Okay, let's say, go back to the classical. You saw a rope as a snake, you get scared. One way, you just run away, that's one way to do. Or another way, come back and try to look at the rope, and investigate. So that's what we are doing actually when we do the analytical meditation. So what happens is that when you start looking at the rope and investigating, is it a snake or not? There's a confusion happens. Oh, was I wrong? Was I mistaken? Or does it really snake? It doesn't really look like, because it doesn't move. So there's some sort of confusions happens. That is healthy confusion. Still confusion. You're not sure whether it's rope or not, but you're questioning snake. See, you're questioning the snake and trying to analyze that, investigate that. So actually, in fact, the word analytical is that analyzing the snake is, was it really a snake? What is really valid to get scared? So how do you know that is a healthy confusion or it's unhealthy confusion, right? Okay, maybe just put it in very easy word. When you have this confusion based on some sort of observation, if this feelings gives you some kind of releasing sense of releasing from something, releasing from some sort of net, caught up, it's a healthy confusion. If you feel like lost, it's kind of unhealthy confusion. That's different. Being released, being lost, isn't it? So in another way, if you feel more rigid, that means it's unhealthy confusion. Or if you feel more paradoxes in a way, and that is unhealthy. But if you feel more like soft, or what do you call the paradox molecules completely different, but it kind of connects each other because they are different. Yeah. Let's say you have a zigzag. You know, it has a completely different shape, but it kind of fits together because it is different, not that it's same. So I don't know how to use an English word. Yeah, I think connection is good word. So if you feel more connection rather than disconnected, you know, because you can get confused by connecting, or you can get confused because it disconnects. Because this feeling of released and feeling of caught up is based on whether this connects or this disconnects. If two things connects, you feel a release. There's no tension. There's no there's no tension, so to speak. And when it doesn't fit, you know, there's always a tension. So what happens is that when this happens inside, okay, and our conscious minds label it as, when it connects, we call it right. When it doesn't connect, we call it wrong. So, which means that you say, oh, that is a flower, you know, and I say, oh yeah, it is a flower, nice, beautiful flower, isn't it? And I can connect with you, okay? I don't have problems, and this is what we call a right. You're right, I'm right, flower is right. But if I say, oh, this is a flower, and if you start saying, oh, that is a table, you know, immediately I will start disconnecting with you, and we call it wrong. Of course, from your, I'm wrong, and from my perspective, you're wrong, right? So it disconnects. So what happens? There's some sense of rigidness instead of disconnectness. Yeah, is in there. So another way, if you look at from a little bit broader way, let's say, when there is a differences, and the I think normally we use the word it didn't convince me, or it did convince me, you know, based on that, I like that, I don't like that, that's right, that's wrong. Another way to look at is that when you observe yourself and okay, let's say when you say this is flower, and I look at it and I found it flower, and we agree with this, we don't have a problem. Why? Because my presumption, okay, what you said was exactly connecting with my presumption. If you say this is a table, it does not connect with my perception of table, because I didn't expect that to be table. But not only that, I already know what is table. If I never know what is table, probably I say yes, it's table. So I already have what is flower, what is a table, and how not flower is not table is not flower. So one way to look at it is that if it fits your presumption, it seems like you're not confused. Okay? If it does not, then it feels like it is a confusion. There's some sort of clash happening, and we don't like that. So now the question is a presumption always right, true? If not, then why you feel uncomfortable? Because we are not almost allowed to question our presumption. And actually what we are trying to do is that seeing if the phenomena fits in my presumption or not. Whatever doesn't fit, no, wrong. Whatever is yes, true, right. So everything is almost validate, authenticate whether that fits into my perception or not. Right? So that means actually we put a lot of faith in our presumption. We almost thought like it's an ultimate reality, truth. But again, so this is the very fundamental question when you feel like you're confused, to check if your confusion is happening because of your presumption, or you think that you're having a wisdom and clarity just because your presumption is nurturing, or your presumption is connecting. That's it. Because normally what we feel is that when you fits your presumption, we call it clarity, and when it goes the other way, we call it confusion. But actually it's not always has to be like that. You can have a confusion not fitting your presumption. That is a healthy confusion. I'm not sure if it's making any sense. Okay, I hope. Because I'm not really following the text or anything like that, but I think that's how we our mind functions when we do this kind of meditations. So now question is that why we believe so much, why we put so much faith in our presumption, which does not have any reason that he is authentic, pure, or right always. Or maybe there is a reason, we have to find out. But as long as you can experience, of course you can say that, oh, this is flower because he sees that way, and that's another presumption. So no matter how much you did, it's just another presumption helping another presumption, it goes. So there's no another real reason to do it. It's just saying that he was lying because he was lying. He knows and he goes back. So my point is that we feel confusion. And confusion usually it's seen as some sort of negative, but when you do the analytical meditation, it's not necessarily. So there's a healthy, there's an unhealthy. So to look at that, you have to look at whether if it makes you more released or it makes you more bound, this or lost. And to do that, you have to look a little bit how this confusion is feeding your presumption or not. Or in a way, you can say that if this confusion sort of construct, it help you to construct more presumption, that means unhealthy. But if this question, if this confusion helps you to deconstruct your presumption, that means it's healthy. But of course, you have to do it conceptually, but it's happening in our subconscious mind, so it's not easy, it will take time. It's not like, oh, now I know all my presumption is gone. It's not like that. But you can do that, So trying to go to your subconscious mind through your conscious mind. Try to be confused, really, literally. Don't feel bad. Enjoy that confusion. The good, healthy confusion. And the good thing is that this somehow is our fundamental nature, so you don't have to push too much. It's already, you like it. So if you, regardless of logical knowledge, if you ask somebody, do you like to feel more like release or do you like to feel more like bound, Of course, if you ask me, say, should I put a door in your house or not, I will say, no, I like to have a door, yeah. But that's not coming from our subconscious mind, that is coming from my conscious mind. More boundary. But somehow, naturally, we like without boundary as in freedom. So second thing is that how we respond our we can say the process of our emotion. Okay, this is a second meditation, or let's say we can do that. So let's say anger. So how you cope, maybe, meaning that how you respond or how you react, probably, so how you react to your anger. It could be anger, attachment, anything, but this is the one thing that we should check ourselves. And you can just go back and see how you normally do that, and then also you have to have some idea of how it's supposed to be, the two things. So it's like how you do it wrong and how you can do it the right way. That's the only difference, to put it in very short. But it's not that easy, so you have to again look at a little bit more in detail. So the first thing is that when you really get emotions, you feel like there's one thing happening, okay? Maybe two things, like, oh, I'm really angry. I am angry towards something or something. So there's object that you get angry, and you become angry. So this is first mistakes we make. So am I becoming angry, or there's someone who is getting emotional that is called anger? Because I believe we don't say that my anger is me. Probably we don't say that. That's why we say my anger, right? My thought, my emotions. We don't say I emotion, right? But somehow when you react, you almost don't do that. It's not that I get angry. Even if you use the word I become angry, but I don't think you become angry. Otherwise you always be angry, right? So there's someone who's getting angry, and there's an emotion that is happening, which is my anger, and then of course there's a reason or the objects that got angry. First thing is recognizing, is there other, which I believe is I, and then getting my emotion, which is part of that person, or maybe not, it's getting or becoming or getting angry. Yeah. And if there's nobody, then how does that happen? And if there's anybody that gets angry, then what is it? Is it my body, with somebody else, or it is just there? Because it seems that anger is so, when you get angry, you are so real, isn't it? Maybe the other emotions in you are a little bit cloudy, but when you get angry, you're really, and not only that, but you have to show other people you exist. Not, but you exist in very big. That's why animals, when they get angry, they try to show them big to overcome you, saying that I am the dominant. Yeah. You not just only exist, but you exist very big, and you try to make as big as possible. Yeah. So the second thing is that so what's wrong with my old habit, right? I see enemy, I get angry, and something happens. I say something bad thing, or I feel bad. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with our natural anger? Or let's say I even don't realize that if anger is me or not. If there's nothing wrong, then I think, yeah, of course, why we need to investigate if there's nothing wrong, right? We know that something is wrong, right? We know that. So we have to really look at what is wrong, with anger, getting angry or being angry. Why not? This is the first question. What happens as a consequence of angry? That's what we're talking about. So if it is good, then it's good. If it is bad, then we have to do something, right? But from the Buddhist point of view, since it's called disturbing emotions, so it's wrong because fundamentally it is disturbing emotions. And now, do you want to be disturbed? Usually we don't, by nature. So of course we can ask again questions, why you don't like to be disturbed, and then you will say, don't ask me too many questions, I'm getting disturbed. So that is a question you can ask yourself. But somehow we don't like it, right? Being disturbed. And that is very clear. Not only human beings, even other animals. So something is wrong there. with the disturbing emotions. So the second thing is that the process. Okay, I'm just giving the example anger, but any kind of our emotions. So you have to look at is that it's your anger is driven pilot. I mean, in the sense it is happening naturally, like as if it is unconsciously, like without any kind of composing, or your anger is happening with the compose process. So this is we're talking about, the process. I'm not sure if you can use like if your anger is the autopilot, can you use that word, like it's happening like it by itself or automatically, you don't do that consciously, or you do it with like how you make cake or something like
constructive.
Pie with the pilot, I guess. I don't know if that's the word or not.
Like you're in charge of it.
Yeah, charge of it. So it is very likely we will find that it's happening almost by itself, because nobody wants to be angry, but it's happening, right? If you do it by yourself, probably you won't get angry, right? I guess. Maybe most of the people. But it happens and then we regret. So why does it happening that I don't want? Still is my emotion, my body, my thought. And I don't want it to be like that, but it's happening somehow. So why? Who is piloting? Who is programming that? So if you really look at, you might find many causes and conditions, not like just one saying this is, but if you look the whole process, there's two possibilities you can find. One, well, we are born like that. So you cannot do much. Actually, you're born as being like that, and it is in your DNA or it is in your brain or something like that. And then I think, yeah, we cannot do much because you are born, But then if you find like actually it's not the one thing that is just there, but it is made out of many things, and by changing the causes and conditions, you can change its action. So if you look at anger, auto-responsive as an action of something, causes and conditions, and we can change the causes and conditions, and there's a possibility of transformation, change. Okay, if there's no possibility of that autopilot, then there's no point to do much. If there's a possibility, then we have to look at what is the causes and conditions. And this is exactly the point becomes, because what are the causes and conditions you think? It doesn't have to be mentioned exactly in the text, but just observing yourself, because everybody is different. What my cause condition, maybe we can have some common, but it's different from what you get angry, so it's an individual thing, but you have to know that. So the very important part here is that once you found the causes and conditions and how to assemble and disassemble it, this is exactly where you find your path of meditation view. Because you understand the causes, you understand how to undo it, and you create the path according to that understanding, your own understanding. And this is exactly how our view stands the meditation, be sustaining that clarity view and creating a new habit. Because mostly we find that problem was the habit, right? Maybe we might not find anything like one reason to say this is the anger, but anger is the habit of something. So you create so let's say anger was unhealthy habit, and you knew what are the cause and condition, and vice versa, as an antidote, you create the healthy habit by deconstructing the unhealthy causes and conditions. And this is your analytical meditation. And second thing is also, when you look at the habit, you will find that there's a reason how you respond. Okay, that's a very important question to ask. That why I respond that way? Why not something else? Let's say you might respond one thing, but other people respond differently. So why I have that responsive way? Like maybe some people is seeing that aversion form is very responsive. I respond, but maybe not the sound. I can just ignore it. But maybe some people sound is really irritating. Maybe for some people, when I say, oh, if I comment on your status, you get very angry. Maybe not on your look, or if I comment your looks, you get all this kind of thing. So why we have that? Why I have a particular kind of responsive systems on particular objects? Now the important thing, the third thing is that we have a saying that when you throw a stone to the dog will bark to the stone, run after the stone. Okay, he won't go after once you're throwing it. But if you are a lion, I don't know if the lion does or not, but the metaphor is that if you are a lion, you don't go after the stone or the stick that is thrown at you. You go after the person who is throwing to you. This is exactly also happens a lot. When you get angry, first of all, am I really getting angry because of it doesn't fit to my perception? This is one. Or let's say, are you really getting angry towards the symptoms or its cause? There's two different things, because mostly we get angry to the symptoms, not the causes. It's like you're getting angry towards the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. And then the second question is that, is it really valid? It is really acceptable to get angry just on the symptoms, or we should think more, go a little more deeper beyond. Yeah, so these are some effects and side effects when you do the analytical meditations. And it's important to have okay to have confusion, but important to have a healthy confusion. And second thing is, since mostly our emotions are the problems, so it's good to know how emotion works, or how you react, or how you respond, and who runs our emotions, why we act certain way, the way how what why we react, how we do it, and is there possibilities to undo it or not? So come up with your own proper, relevant counter remedy, to that by understanding your own triggers, burdens, and the causes and conditions of your emotional, of course, mostly disturbing emotions. Yeah, I think I'll stop here. Senam dien tache sikpani antamne ngepe danaim pamjene kegai na chimpalain trupai sipe sole drowain drowaishu.
By this merit may all obtain omniscience, may it defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of samsara, may it free all beings.